Hi everyone, it's K-Red. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're finishing up the random doodle that we started just a couple days ago. It was running a little long, so it was split up into two. We're going to pick right up where we left off in that video. I'll include a link up above and in the comments if you want to start back at the beginning. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get started. Some nice little shapes on here. And then I make these pointy little leaves. So on every project I've ever done, especially on every random project, every random doodle page, I do something that I just don't like. And well, these little pointy shapes are that. After I did them, I went, oh no, that I don't like. I wanted to crumple up the paper and throw it away, start over on something new. But this is where I always have a little talk with myself and remind myself that this is just pen and paper. It's about the process, it's about learning, and it's about trying new things. I also remind myself that sometimes when I start off with something that I really hate, I end up adding stuff to it that makes me really like it. Now I'll give you a spoiler alert, I don't ever end up liking this section. At the end, I do some things so that it'll blend into the page so it doesn't stand out to me like it does right now. But I don't ever get to a point where I'm like, oh yes, I'm going to add that into another one. It just didn't work for me on this page. But that's okay. If you hit something like that, I want you just to work through it. Just keep going, just keep doodling. Keep adding things to it, coloring in, leave it, walk away from it, come back to it again, move to another section. Which is what I did. I went ahead and said, okay, this is not something I'm going to love, so let me move to a new section. And I ended up adding these spiral little spiky, I don't think you can even call them a flower. They almost look to me like they're an alien or very, very odd. But I did end up really liking these. Not really sure how I'll use them in the future or where they will fit into something else. But they ended up just being kind of fun and kind of whimsical. I'm glad I added them in. If you notice on some of these, my pens are starting to come and go, but that's okay. Just pick up a new one. I didn't make all of them reach down to the bottom because the bottom was getting full, but I still wanted it filled up into that dividing section, and it was fun. I think these would be really cute if I made a dark circle in the center, but I'm glad I didn't put any leaves on it. Kind of liked it just with the string, the wiggly string hanging down. So now I'm back to my spikes thinking I'm going to correct this. I'm going to do something to this to make it look better. And I try to add some weight dividing on the top. So what's next? I don't know. Just one line after another. See where it leads me. I'm adding a bunch more auras, and then I start with my little rainbow design. Coloring in the base circle, and then leaving 2 or 3 levels to the circle. Now on this section, I didn't give myself a dividing space to start with. I just started doing it, so I'm going to get to a point where it's like, uh-oh, when do I stop? And I end up drawing in that line so that I can have my section. As I'm recording this, the weather here is starting to cool off. We're starting to get hints that fall could be around the corner, and I must tell you, this fall season is my favorite. Football, holidays, sweaters, sweatshirts, pumpkin lattes. It's all fabulous. Do you have a favorite season that you like? I know as we get into these seasons, it can also be difficult. We have family members who aren't with us who we wish we were. We're not able to do things for families that we wish we could. And sometimes these next few months, even though they're my absolute favorite, they can add a stress that's completely different and new. So I encourage you, as you're doing this, don't forget yourself. Don't forget to take a minute. If you have little ones and they're coloring, color with them. Spend some time with pen and paper or whatever you find relieves your mind. Some gardening, some pen and paper. I'm definitely beginning to feel the desire and the want to do some diamond dot painting or diamond painting. I love that too. I think I'm going to do some recording of that, so hopefully we'll see that coming up on the channel. I know it's not a doodle, and that's what I typically do, but it has a lot of those same characteristics. So I had so much fun with the arcs, the little circle things I just did. I decided to do it again. This time though, I made a bigger circle, made more lines to it, and then I'm filling in and alternating them so they're big and bold. I do some auras where I'm alternating thin lines and dark lines. And I start with these fun hashtags. There was a time when these were my absolute favorite. 3 horizontal, 3 vertical. Simple as can be, and it's a great filler. I'm able to pull it all the way across the paper and try to continue on this transition. So this is the point where I realize this is definitely going to be a vertical drawing. A little unusual. Most of mine are not, so I was kind of glad that it felt right to do this. And I add just a couple rows. Basically, these little hashtag lines, these little hash lines, will work just like a divider. They're going to put some space in between one section and the next. So, where to next? Back to my thick wavy lines, and I decide to go back to some grids. When I drew the grids, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. am feeling patterns. So I decided to do all the lines, pattern lines, going one direction first, and then going in and filling them in, doing the other direction, adding some circles, and just making a neat little easy pattern. A couple more auras, and I decided to finish it off with this fun little floral leaf. This is actually a Zentangle design, and it always reminds me of like little hearts, and it's a fun little design. So I go back one more time, trying to make that center a little bit happier with the spikes. Still don't quite achieve it, but I do work on it. Trying to make it, maybe if it looked like there was a circle in there. decide that that bottom right-hand corner is just a little too open. It has a little too much white space of the paper showing, and I decide to add dark square boxes that just kind of float, hopefully randomly, attempting to be randomly intermixed in it. So let's start some shading. I start by shading the inside of these square spirals. I gotta tell you, I don't love it. Not real happy with it. Not sure what I should have done. Maybe I should have done the outside more in the dark and the lighter in the middle, but it's something I'll play with in the future. However, the shading on my circles ends up being exactly what I was liking. I feel like it makes them look a little puffier, gives them a little dimension. I only wish I had done that also inside the circles that are inside each of the spikes. I think that may have helped bring it all together. And while I'm doing this voiceover, I'm tempted to go back and grab my pencil and do that right now. So I kind of shade on a whim, as I always do, trying to decide where to add a little bit of this or a little bit of that. I want you all to know I appreciate you watching me. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I hope you're taking care of yourself as we get into this favorite but busy time. If you have a moment, please like and subscribe to my channel. It does help my little channel grow, and I have been so thankful and enjoying being here with you all. I hope your week is a good one. I'll be posting again soon. See you then.